Okay, I wanted to point out one thing before we went to the individual resources. And that specifically has to do with Discover Emmanuel and what we teach. You can find it here as far as the information dealing with the doctrinal issues associated with the church. And here's the definition I had for interpretation of Scripture: normal, literal, grammatical, historical, and systematic, and then details associated with our belief system in all these different areas. Just know that that's available online and that you can find that pretty easily by going through Discover on Emmanuel down to what we teach. Our first resource is BibleGateway.com. I pulled up the homepage and you can see a number of options available as far as the Bible series goes for passage lookup. Also, study material are available, apps related to Bible Gateway, and a store as well. I use this app for a quick lookup given a Bible verse interface and the ability to quickly jump to a particular book or verse or series of verses. I can also quickly jump to other translations with a click of a button. So if I want to go ahead and look at John chapter 1, I can just easily select the book, the chapter, and it'll take me to that version for ESV. And then I've got a drop-down menu to select any other ones. So it allows me to go through and then toggle through verse by verse and actually go into the details associated with that particular translation at the chapter level. Bible Gateway Plus is a paid service where you don't have to deal with the ads. This chart lists the different features available for a price. You may want to check it out. I will be looking at John chapter 1, verse 18. Here I can quickly open that book to that chapter, or if I want to, I can just select that chapter and verse itself, and it'll jump me right there, with the highlights and the footnotes as noted. I like the Bible features and think that BibleGateway.com is a good Bible reference resource to quickly look up a passage or have numerous Bible translations available. It also has a free audio app. BlueLetterBible.org is the second resource. I show the contents here that include a quick verse lookup and details associated with Bible commentaries and other study material, theological resources, topical indexes, and the like. I can go ahead and select one. Let's go ahead and select NASB John chapter 1. So it'll give me all the verses for John chapter 1 under that translation. If I go to 118 and I select it, if I click on Strong's here, it'll actually show me that same verse with all the Greek lemmas, that's the dictionary terms that they use, associated with that particular verse. If I go to the last part of it, he has explained him, G1834, and click on it, it'll take me actually to the lexicon that gives me the Greek word explained.
Strong's G 1834, exegeomai. Exegeomai.
So there's a lot of information here: transliteration, pronunciation, Greek inflections, the number of times this verse is found, at least in the King James Version, outline of biblical usage, and then Strong's definition, lexicon, which gives you more details associated with the Greek, where else it's found, just a number of different ways that you can look up this particular word and do a study on it. This is a really interesting resource. It takes a little getting used to for finding your way around, but it's got some powerful capabilities. I like the Blue Letter Bible because it has a strong Bible search capability and Greek and Hebrew lookup tools with lots of Bible study resources available. It also has a free app. The third resource is BibleHub.com. This is very similar to the tools in Blue Letter Bible in that it has a strong set of Greek and Hebrew tools if you'd like to use them. Here's an example of the same Greek word with definitions and lexicon details that are displayed. I like the way their word study is laid out. All these resources seem to have lookup tables associated with Strong's related to the King James, NASB, and the Holman Christian Standard Bible. It's kind of listed up here. Type in John 1:18, and it takes you to that verse. And actually, you can look down and it shows you the parallel verses associated with all the different translations, as well as cross-references and study Bible details. If you click on commentaries while you're here, it will also take that verse and jump you to all the different commentaries that discuss that particular verse. BibleHub.com allows you to dig deeper into the original languages with Bible, topical, and strong number lemma searches. Also, there are a lot of commentary resources. It has a strong concordance and lexicon side, just like Blue Letter Bible. It is an excellent resource. Dr. Constables Notes have been around for over 30 years. Started in 1985, they have been continually updated. So if we go down to John chapter 1, or John, you'll see a very traditional summary of the book, both with the writer, place of origin, date, characteristics and features and purpose, recipients, and then a very detailed outline. This resource has a full biblical commentary by a noted seminary professor that's available via online. It's also unique, and it's the one resource that's available via PDF. Studylight.org is another website chock full of capability. It touts itself as the largest online collection of Bible study tools and resources. Looking across the menu, you can see a number of different options for further study. Under Bible study tools, there's information, original language tools, historical writings, pastoral resources, and personal resources. Note also in the site info section that there's a listing of the statement of faith that they have. The fact that Precept Austin also links to this resource gives additional confidence between these two sites for compatibility of beliefs. Note under Bible study tools, if we type in John 1, verse 18, that it comes back with over 4,800 different hits associated with that inquiry across 1,300 resources, commentaries, concordances, dictionaries, and encyclopedias, and they're listed here. Studylight has an impressive mix of Bible translations, search capabilities, and interlinear and lexicon tools. It is one of the broadest set of tools available. FreeBibleCommentary.org also has a sister site called Bible Lessons International. Dr. Bob Utley is a widely published resource who's been around for many years. The strength of this site is also that it links to Dr. Utley's YouTube lessons and a number of different resources, specifically to his teaching. If we open up Free Bible Commentary and then go to New Testament Studies and then go to Written Bible Commentaries, we can then jump ahead to John. John chapter 1 is listed here, and then he's got his own details associated with what to look up, outline, details associated with the verses, and then exposition associated with each of the specific verses. A little bit less detail than Dr. Constable, but he's got a lot of other material as well. I put a question mark by his mobile app since my Windows 10 didn't recognize the file to download as a trusted source. Dr. Utley is a lot like Dr. Constable in making his work available for free. If you enjoy Dr. Utley's material, it's all available online. BibleStudyTools.com calls itself the largest free online Bible website. Note that many of the same menu items found in some of the other sites are also here. This means that you can look at these resources, and it gives you the option to have several different ways to look at the material online. This may allow you to decide, based on the ease of interface and usability, what is the best site for you. You will note in some of these sites, you also get a fair amount of pop-up ads, either related to biblical topics or not. If you go ahead and look at the tools or identify all these different drop-down menus and pick up one like commentaries, it'll jump you to a site that basically gives you a rundown of many of the different versions. Now there's Dr. Bob Utley listed right there. Geneva Study Bible, Matthew Henry's Commentary, and even Schofield Reference Notes. BibleStudyTools.com is an excellent rundown on the free commentaries, lessons, articles, sermons, blogs, with comparison and interlinear Bible features. It also includes an audio Bible option. So there's lots of resources. Precept Austin is an amazing resource. Note the search options for the different tools. To show you the power of this resource, I'm just going to use the collections of commentaries and sermons associated with the Gospel of John. So I go to the home page, and under that portion where it talks about choose a Bible, book of the Bible to study, I'll select John, and that'll take me to John's commentaries and sermons, and all the details associated and outlines and graphics for the Gospel of John. And then I come to basically a link for every verse, going to John 1:18, highlights again some of the key details that are also associated with that verse in the Gospel of John. And then scrolling down, it gives me a list of the different books that have a parallel translation associated with it, other links, and then more details associated with individual writers that he's compiled, whether it's Utley, Stephen Cole, D.A. Carson, John MacArthur. Even the Greek words and terms are also described and explained. It's an amazing way to go through a particular verse and find out where a number of different people fall on that particular topic. That compilation of material is massive. Just start with any book or verse and dive in. Lots of study tools and resources. Bible Web App is an online study application. It doesn't have the volume of resources, but it is a really neat Greek and Hebrew tool that's available online. Showing on the screen here, you can see I've got it open to John chapter 1, verse 16 through 18. And as I kind of go through and look at each of these verses, it toggles through and shows how different words then link to the Greek words in the original language. The Bible Web App is the coolest Greek, Hebrew, English online interactive study tool on the list. It pulls other resources onto the visual display. It also links resources very well for its specific purposes. I encourage you to try it out and play with it a little bit. The final resource that we'll get a quick look at today is olivetree.com. For several years, this was my only resource, and it allowed me to link my devices, share my notes and resources that included books, dictionaries, commentaries, and even notes taken during the sermon. I think it is the most user-friendly mobile app available, but it does cost to add different resources, so it isn't completely free. I like that I can scroll through verses and link the two open panels shown on the screen. You can see that I've highlighted things over time. I've even left notes, and then I've also linked the Understanding the Bible Commentary series to John chapter 1, so that as I scroll through that, it'll also change the panel on the right. Note down here on verse 18, no one has seen God at any time, the only begotten God who is in the bosom of the Father. He has explained him. So if I right-click on Explained, it basically is going to go and give me an option for that same Strong's number, 1834 lookup. Here's the Greek word. Here's the number of times it's shown in the New Testament. And then I can look it up in a number of different books that I have. Note on the left-hand panel, I've got a number of different Bibles that are open, dictionaries, commentaries, a number of different sources. Most of the resources have some cost, but they also make study more efficient and effective. Olive Tree covers all the bases as a compact, integrated Bible study tool with a powerful mobile app for Android, Kindle, Mac, and Windows. For basic Bible study, it's very, very powerful. The one item I will not discuss today anyway is the Logos Bible software package that I started using in seminary and now find invaluable. With a reasonable entry price for key Bible study features and enough resources to fill many, many libraries. This is the tool used by most of the pastoral staff located in a manual. This chart summarizes the details we just reviewed. Consider it a starting point for your own investigations. If you'd like to have a copy of the slides and the hyperlinks for each of the resources, then please send a note to the email listed here on the page. Additionally, as other online resources are shared or discovered, we'll update a slide at the end of the presentation with the additional sites. Well, that does it for our review. I hope that you found it useful for getting an idea of the volume and breadth of resources that are available for your own study. If you have an interest in understanding the Logos Bible software suite, then keep an eye out for the announcements to demonstrate, review, and educate Emmanuel members on this specific resource. Thank you for your time. God bless.